Welcome to DeMitt, Texas. Today we're going to take a look at the Wingover. Don't confuse it with the Lazy 8. This maneuver is a bit more abrupt, a bit more aerobatic, and it's been in use since World War I with pilots in the Navy, general aviation pilots, all the way through for training to learn how to be proficient controlling their airplane through changing conditions such as pitch and bank, roll, airspeed, altitude control, and heading control. So let's get to it. Let's go flying. This is Steve with Flight Quest 40. I'm going to get the tires. I'm going to light the fires and I'm going to kick the tires and light the fires, and let's get her started. This is the Laminar Skyhawk 2 X-Plane 12, 210 horsepower, complex airplane, meaning it has a constant speed propeller, but it has fixed gear. We are at DeMitt, Texas. I'll show you this little nav map and the reason why we selected this area. Okay, here's DeMitt. The reason why I chose this is because you see the numerous roads that are aligned east and west. They make great references. So this is T55. Yeah. Double nickel. DeMitt Muni. I chose it for the lines and the fields. Okay, let's taxi out. I did do my checklist flow. I'll put a little bit of forward view for me.
Wingover is a relatively slow, rhythmic maneuver that begins with a climbing turn of 90 degrees. And ends with a smooth diving turn of 90 degrees, recovering at approximately the same attitude and airspeed with which the maneuver was started, and achieving a 180-degree reversal in the direction of flight. In training, it is always done in a series of two.
I like to see a little bit. I'm going to lose a little bit in the view in the top, but let's go ahead and take off. We'll get that set when we're in here. Okay, rotation's 50. Climb out, we'll look about 70, 75. Clear blue skies, good day for maneuvering. Welcome to Flight Quest 40 and welcome to Wednesday Wings. This episode number 2, I believe, is the Wingover, or is it episode number 3? I don't know. There's about 50. Maintain runway heading. I'll put that heading bug right there as a reminder. 70 knots, a little too much right rudder. We're going to climb to 7,000 feet. All right, wing flaps up. With the flaps up, I'm going to hit 80. 1,000 feet to go. The whole idea about this, reason why we picked them at Texas, is if we can look out the left window here or the right window, you can see the lines of the fields as straight lines right there. And if we look out here, and I take an outside view, you can see all these lines of reference. Okay, and we're going to use those for, this will be our longitudinal axis line. We start here, and then we have our angle lines for the lateral line for our 90-degree mark. So we look to the left of the airplane. There you go. You can see those lines. Okay, so those are reference lines. Okay, guys, here we are. We're at 7,000 feet. We are going to be doing a series of wingovers. Let's just do a clearing turn. As we clear the area, I'll go ahead and discuss the maneuver a little bit more. I don't want you to think of this as a lazy 8. This is a more abrupt maneuver. What we're going to do is we're going to set up, as you see the lines in front of us on the main screen, and if you look on the left and right screens at the top corners, you'll see our 90-degree lines also that go along with the wing. We do have other areas we're going to look at. It's the 45-degree angle entering the climb and the 135-degree angle that's at the bottom of the descent. So we're going to use those to kind of analyze where we're at, glancing at the instruments. This maneuver is not going to be as smooth as the Lazy 8. I think it's a little bit easier than the Lazy 8 because we're going to have a higher pitch attitude, a higher bank angle. We're going to be looking at an angle of bank between 60 degrees and 90 degrees. We don't want to go past 90 degrees because that's where we're going to start going inverted. I've done it a few times and ended up in a spin. Have your spin recovery techniques intact. Let's do a clearing turn. You're going to be climbing during the first 45 degrees. We're going to reach our max pitch attitude. Our angle of bank is going to continually increase, where when we're at the 90-degree point, we should be seeing the nose is right about level with the horizon. And then we have our max bank angle. We relax the back pressure. The nose is going to slice the horizon. And your rate of turn increases significantly. It's so easy to turn too far into the maneuver where you're going to roll out on an inaccurate heading, because we're trying to roll out on the reciprocal of the heading that we started. The airspeed's going to decrease. It's also going to increase. So what does that mean? We've got to take P factor into consideration. When we're in a turn to the right, and I believe the turns to the right are a lot easier than the ones to the left, we're going to need a bit more rudder pressure. Conversely, on the way down, on the other side, we're going to need less right rudder due to the increase and decrease pitch attitude of the airplane. Now, we have a constant speed propellers. Our RPMs should remain relatively the same all the way through the maneuver. Some of the common errors is not enough back pressure, bringing the nose back up from the descent to level flight, or concentrating too much on the pitch attitude, not realizing that we stopped rolling out to get wings level. And we're going to get right into this. We're going to do a series of turns, 2 to the left, 2 to the right, and then we're going to finish it up by going left. When we descend down back to our entry altitude and our entry airspeed, we're going to roll immediately into a turn to the right side. And that should complete this maneuver, and then we'll go back in for an adventurous landing back to Demit Muni. You might be in a Piper Arrow, which is pretty cool because you have a better view of your angles and compared to the upper wing. I don't think I have a Piper Arrow downloaded into my X-Plane, which I really should. I've always been a Cessna guy back in my early days. And I'm used to having the wing above me. It's nice to have some shade from the sunshine. Later in life, the wings got a little bit lower and behind me, if you know what I mean. We're getting ready to start here. I think we've covered everything. Pitch attitude, angle of bank, airspeed, neutral trims, stabilized flight. Let's do a left turn now to a heading of west. And we're ready. We'll get to west. We're going to roll right into it. The key points are 0 degrees, which is our entry direction, 45 degrees, which is going to be maximum pitch up, 90 degrees. We'll continue with the downward pitch attitude, allowing the nose to slice through, just increasing that angle of bank to get between 60 to 90 degrees. Then our 135 degree point, maximum pitch down, opposite of the pitch up. We begin increasing the pitch up attitude as we get to the 180 degree point. This maneuver is done better when you're doing it at a faster rate, both angle of bank and pitch, compared to the lazy 8. Traffic is cleared. Here we go. Increasing angle of bank, increasing pitch attitude. Nice and slow at this point. Just kind of picture yourself scribing that upper curved 8. There's 45 degrees coming around. I should be pulling back more. Starting to roll in that angle of bank. There's 90 degrees. Nose comes through. Start to roll out that angle of bank. At this point, start increasing that back pressure significantly. Getting the nose level right on the horizon. And there we go. It may not be pretty your first couple times. Now we're on a heading of west. There's our altitude. Airspeed is right about the same. We do another one to the left. Clear the area to the left, and here we go. Simultaneously, increase your back pressure. I want to get my rate of turn a little bit quicker. There's 45 max degree pitch. At that point, I'm starting to roll in my angle of bank. There's my 90 degree point. Nose comes down, rolling out the angle bank, coming in with that back pressure. Trying to time it. There's 135. And there we go. This is visual. We are outside the airplane. Now we're going to do it to the right. I'm at 7,100 feet. I'm going to just start from there. Nose goes up. The picture's a little bit different. I need to be rolling in there. I should be at least 45 degrees, right around the 45 degree mark. Nose is going up to max pitch now. Rolling in that angle of a bank. Relaxing the back pressure, a little bit of right rudder. As that nose comes through, we're increasing the pitch now. Slowly rolling out that angle of bank. And there we come up into 7,100 feet, up 7,150. Look at that, right on the left, but I got a little bit too much rudder in there. I'm sure that's making a cool picture for anybody on the ground. Let's do one more to the right. I say the only way to get good at it is to get out there and practice, do 20 minutes worth of practice. Well, we're about 120, that's okay. This is not a high G maneuver. Nose starts going up. We want to do a little, I know I need to do a quicker roll rate here with my pitch attitude. Holding that back pressure in, a little more rate. There's 45 degrees, I should be about 45 on there. Rolling through, nose slices through, 90 degrees, there it is. Pointing down, 135, increasing that back pressure, constantly rolling out. "10 degrees off, we're at altitude, airspeed's pretty good." So there are a couple errors in there, as my roll rate and my increasing my back pressure rate were not in concert with each other. After a while, you'll get in concert. So I'll show you how I used to practice these when I was a kid in a Cardinal. We're going to do the combo now. Oh, you want one more to the right? Okay, let's do one more to the right. Nose goes up, pitch attitude goes up. I'm going to do it a little bit quicker now. That nose is really going up there. Increasing the angle of bank. We should see 90 degrees. There it is. Releasing the back pressure. Nose falls through, starting to bring out the angle of bank. Really increasing the back pressure here. Constantly rolling out, getting that right rudder. Let's do one to the left and immediately roll into one to the right. So here we are, about 7,000 feet. Rolling in, increasing my pitch attitude. I like to get it smartly up there, a little more increased angle of bank. There's our max pitch attitude. Let the plane roll through. There's 90 degrees, perfect. Starting to increase the back pressure here, rolling out, timing it. Really got to get that nose up on the horizon. And there it is. And then we go right into the right. Increasing that angle of bank. There's 90 degrees. Nose falls through, starting to take out the angle of bank. And now coming in with that back pressure. That was to the left, and that was to the right, back on a heading of west. When I was a young kid flying and I'd come up and practice these wingovers, a lot of times I didn't even really pay attention to heading or altitude. I was at a safe altitude. So I would just do this. Here's a young Stevie. Back in my 20s. 172. I just bring the nose right on up. And then I would just start kicking in that aileron, let the nose slice through. There's almost 90 degrees. And I would just do a series going back, everything visually. I didn't really too much worry about exactly where I was rolling out. But I found after a while, doing it visually, I could see my 90-degree point. I'm looking through, nose slices through. Okay, looking at that picture in the screen, rolling my airplane out. Boom, and there's 90 degrees. And I just go right into another one. Sometimes I get it really going. There's 90 degrees. Look at that nose slice through. Abruptly bringing out that angle of bank and rolling out. I'm not even looking at my instruments. I'm just going by the visual, letting the nose fall through. As I come through, I'm looking for the horizon or roll out. Look at that, I'm right on 7,000. I haven't been paying attention to anything, just looking outside. The plane's trimmed for neutral. Let's do another one. Nose goes up, angle of bank. I'm just going to do this quick. Let the nose fall through. Shoof, there's 90 degrees. Start bringing it out a little bit sooner, increasing that back pressure, feeling the picture come to where you need it. There's 7,000 and one to the right. There's 90 degrees, rolling out. You kind of get to that 145, 135, and you got to see that picture rolling up, the rate of the picture changing at the same speed. Let's go back to the airport now. It's your turn to get in your simulator and give it a shot. Well, how are we going to get back to the airport? Oh, I see it. It's behind us. Well, let's do a wing over. Nose up. This will get us on the course. There's a stall warning. Nose comes through. Progressively picking up that nose. Boom. And we're on a heading to the airport. That was so extreme we did lose about 100 feet. T-55's in front of us. We're going to land on runway 1. You know what we're going to do? We're not going to use a pattern. Here's 12.2 from Tango X-Ray Oscar. From this VOR, we are on the 070 radial. When that centers up, I have that one. I have a secondary VOR in here, old school. This is on the 306 radial from Papa Victor Whiskey. What's the name of that? Plainview. And there's my cross radials. I don't need them. I just put them in there for fun. So how will I know when I'm at the airport? Well, when that one's centered up, I'm there. Now this airport only has, or this airplane only has one VOR in it. So I'd have to switch frequencies, 109, and put the 300 in there. Airport is in front of us. We have a from indication, so we have correct sensing. I'm going to use my GPS. Okay, there's the airport directly in front of us. Let's set up for a landing. I remember when I was a kid, I was out flying in Texas on a solo cross country so many years ago. I remember going into an airport. I don't know if it was Breckenridge or if it was Ole or Only, whatever the name, out in the country, a lot like this. I came in for the landing on the runway. I was a student pilot before everything else came together. I didn't know any better. I should have. Well, land on the runway that's more direct into the wind, so I chose a runway. I landed down there. I came taxiing in, and this old Texan fella came up to me and said, "Man, that was a beautiful landing you did there." I said, "Well, thank you very much. You know, there's a lot of grass and stuff growing up through the cracks in the concrete. Doesn't anybody cut the grass here?" Well, sir, I hadn't seen anybody land on that runway for years. That thing's been closed for as long as I remember. I said, also, there's some airplane, as I was landing, went right over top of me, upside down, inverted. Is that what you call it? He goes, yep. He goes, well, that there's Patty Wagstaff. She's practicing for the Olympic team or some competition. I don't remember. She probably saw a little yellow Cessna airplane on the runway. Okay, there's our runway. We're going to land on runway 1, but we are going in the opposite direction. This maneuver goes out to Patty Wagstaff. Out in Texas, there wasn't a lot of traffic sometimes, and I wouldn't lie to you if I told you that I'd done this a couple times. Not at an incredibly low altitude, but definitely low enough. You didn't think we were going to do a normal pattern now, did you? No, we're going to reverse our course with the Wingover and still land on runway 1. I bet you I could find that airport. I just have to go in my logbook all those many years ago. Maybe I'll do that. Texas is so flat. Almost every place is a virtual landing spot if you need it. All right, a few hundred feet over runway 19, I think it is, and we're going to reverse course and land on runway 1. Just doing about 135. There's a housing area. Oy boy, maybe I should have done it in the other direction. Well, let's give them a show. This is a simulator, by the way. open field here. All right. Nose goes up. Angle of bank comes in. There's 90 degrees. Back pressure comes in. Airspeed should be increasing. And there's the runway. Gas, undercarriage, mixture props. Only try it in your simulator. Waiting for flap speed. There's 10 degrees. 20 degrees. Oh, a little floating. I didn't expect that. Well, I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it was informative. I hope you liked my stories. They are true. Patty Wagstaff, me landing on a runway that was not groomed, that had been closed for years, and it was probably the best landing I'd ever done my entire life at that point. It's a Cessna 150, November 5368, Quebec. I wonder if it's still around. And that gentleman that complimented me on the landing, he said, yep, that's what the big X is for on the runway. I said, oh, it doesn't mark the spot, does it? I did it. A couple times I'd done some wingovers coming back to land the airplane in the opposite direction from a little bit higher of an altitude. Okay, that should do it for this flight. Thank you once again for flying with Flight Quest 40. We'll see you on the next one.